guys, welcome to another video. Now before we get into this heated debate, I want to bring up another Sheffield United point, which is our third kit. Now myself has actually pre-ordered this back in early October, and I've just been given an email by the club saying it's not going to arrive until mid to late January. Now this is really disappointing. I think you're paying full price for a kit you're not even going to be wearing for half the season. Anyway, going back to the video. Now today we're talking about McBurnie. This player has been given unrelenting criticism from a lot of our fans, and I kind of want to give us a wake-up call and realise that this criticism is definitely undeserved and we need to look elsewhere if we're trying to find a scapegoat here. Now McBurnie is a player we signed for 17 to 20 million depending on add-ons and scored 22 goals in the Championship for Swansea. For that transfer fee in the Premier League team, I would say anywhere between 8 to 12 goals is a solid conversion. And he got 6, so for a first season, I don't think it's too much to complain about. But after that, we thought we'd be something to build on. We thought, he'd get more this season, and that just hasn't happened, as we all know. But nonetheless, the criticism he's been given is absolutely ridiculous, and I'm going to tell you why. Now, right now, I'm going to show you the shots on target ratio. Now, in terms of McBurnie compared to other strikers, we're going to start with Mopé, because I know a lot of us, the reason we're frustrated about McBurnie is because we feel we should have signed Mopé instead. So if we compare the two, McBurnie, as you can see on the screen now, has a 58.97 conversion rate. And we compare that to Mopé, that's 41%. So it's a big difference, and it shows that if Mopé was playing in our team, I really don't think he'd be scoring as many goals as he is for Brighton. The reason is they play one striker, so all the chances go to him. And like us, they actually give their strikers decent chances to try and score from. Now, if compared to Mopé, he scored 10 goals compared to McBurnie's 6. So you can imagine if he was given as many chances as Mopé was, he'd probably score more than 10 goals. Now, I know you're thinking these are strikers that have come from the Championship. Why don't you compare it to someone who's actually got a decent record and reputation in Premier League? So we'll do that as well. So look at Gabriel Jesus now, a player who lit the Premier League alight when he first joined, but in my opinion has gone on the decline ever since, but still doesn't get any negativity unlike McBurnie does. Now Jesus, he scored 14 goals last season, and he had a conversion rate in terms of shots on target ratio like the other two with 48%, so more than Mopé, still less than McBurnie. However, when you compare him and McBurnie's chances missed, Jesus missed 24 last season where McBurnie missed 10. So if you think about that, it shows that when they get their chances, McBurnie's more likely to score. So does that mean he should be playing for Man City? I'm not going that far, but I'm saying if we were given as many chances to McBurnie as City were, we'd have one hell of a striker on our hands. And don't get me wrong, and that's because they're a decent team, so they can play more offensively. But nonetheless, we really need to start looking at ourselves and creating more chances, because then we're going to start getting goal scorers up front. Now, that's not the only one. Sharples had a 47% shot on target ratio last season as well. So it shows that the players are there. The players are clinical, but they're just not getting enough chances. And now, if it really is about scoring goals, then we've got to look at our other strikers. We've got 5 strikers that played for us this season, and only 1 scored from open play. So what about the other 3? They've played as well, and don't get me wrong, it's probably because they haven't played as much McBurnie, but still, no criticisms on them. Now, if you look at us in the Premier League last season, we were given praises to the roof. None of it was actually for scoring goals, it was for the lack of conceding. We never really scored many goals, did we? But it was about our 13 clean sheets, which kept us up and kept us up very comfortably. Now, that's what's changed this season. It's not the goals. We've conceded 14 goals in 8 games already compared to 13 clean sheets last year. It's just unparalleled in terms of the difference that's changed. And so if that's the case, then where's the criticism for Baldock, Basham, Egan, Stevens, to name a few? It shows that there's a lot of criticism. If it was fair, it's more fair on the defence rather than the attack. Because at the end of the day, we were known for having a solid defence and having many clean sheets and not having high-scoring strikers instead. So in that sense, you could argue, what's McBurnie and co doing wrong, because nothing's really changed from last season. Now, of course, one thing that has changed is position in the league. It's absolutely atrocious, bottom of the league, 1 point, very lucky to get that 1 point anyway. So where do we go from here? So I feel that's the reason why McBurnie's been used as a scapegoat for a run of form, an excuse to why we've been doing so bad this season, when actually the issue lies deeper. Now, when you look at it realistically, he's only really had about 3 chances this season. He had 2 against Fulham and 1 against Liverpool. Now, Liverpool one, I'd let him get away with it and say it was more half a chance, but it was disappointing that he couldn't put it onto his stronger foot, or at least even get on target. Surely the answer is pretty plain and simple. Give him more service. We know he's a player who's not a skiller, dribbler, or even pacey. So if you're going to sign prime Peter Crouch, you aren't going to expect him to play like Lionel Messi. So why are we expecting something similar with McBurnie? We give him no balls to win headers on. And when we are, like we showed against City, what did we do with it? No one was there to win the flick-ons, and there was no support around him. So So my point is that if we're looking for blame, it's got to be put on Wilder. Now, he's a legend. He's obviously got us this far. I'm not saying he needs to be sacked, but I'm saying he does need to have a look at himself, because how do you expect a striker to score goals without any service? I mean, if you want to shut me up and keep me quiet, then I just ask this of you. Tell me 5 chances we've had this season that are clear-cut. Now, I can probably think about 3, and that took me a good 2 or 3 minutes to even think of that. Now, for 8 games, that's a very worrying stat. Unless you've got 60 plus million strikers in your team to score those goals, who says you're going to score from that little chances you're given? And even so, like I've proven that Jesus stat, it's not a given. I mean, they bought him for granted about 25 million, but he's valued at, probably 80 million now as a striker, and to score that little conversion, it shows nothing's guaranteed in life, especially in football. So I really think Wilder's got to change something against West Ham, if not after that game, because if nothing does change the next few games, we're going to go down. I mean, we've got 1 point, and that's shown from the way we played. I mean, the system just doesn't work. The wing backs aren't getting enough, and that's what's changed. We saw lockdown, even though we were very poor after lockdown, we were still getting wide and going forward, and there was service to McBurnie, which is why he got that goal against Chelsea, which is why he got his goal against Spurs. But except for that, what have we done? We've done nothing going forward. I would rather see us lose 3-1 than these 1-0 defeats we've been having. I mean, the Man City one was ridiculous because people were saying, it was close, it was a close tied game, 1-0. But if you scratch beneath the surface, we should have lost that game 4-0. We had nothing going forward, and when we even had the ball, there was no crosses. The quality was absolutely atrocious. Now, for this part of the video, I had a whole montage set up of clips against us crossing against Man City, but sadly it was blocked from my YouTube channel, so I couldn't upload it. So I'm going to leave a link in the description, and please watch that if you don't believe me about our service, because that will just give you a massive wake-up call from the service we had in that game, especially in the second half. Now, I know it's not the same, but I did manage to compromise and get some screenshots in there, so some you can't actually see the ball. You can kind of imagine where it would be. And defensively, we did get away with a lot. We weren't very good, and Ramsdale kept us in it. So I know a lot of you will disagree. I know there'll be a lot of criticism from fellow Blades, which I can understand. Everyone has their own opinion, and maybe you see something I don't. Now, Scottish fans, let me know as well what you think of him, because he plays for you as well, and I know a lot of you don't think he's a very good player. Hopefully, he'll score a goal against West Ham like he did last season, and people start getting off his back. I know a lot of it's to do with the Fulham game, which, like me, I also said that I was disappointed with him in that, but I don't think it's worth this much criticism we're giving him. So hopefully, if he does score soon, that will soon change, which I can imagine it will. That's what football's all about. As soon as the glory comes, people forget about the hard times. So let's just hope that's going to happen soon. And until next time, guys, I hope you enjoyed. Take it easy.